Remnants to me is the last 20 years of life, really, all sort of mashed into one. It was all I had left to give. I've been playing drums for 20 years. I've been playing in so many bands with so many different artists and different singers and that sort of thing. And it was just time to do it by myself. I'd always been a backing singer in all the bands, and I'd always worked on the production side of things. Something would always fall through, and you'd get to a point and it just sort of crumbled. So I was like, what on earth's going on? I hadn't written a song in probably 3 years, I reckon. And then life just sort of took a huge tumble. So I moved back home. It's kind of like the carpet had been taken out from underneath me. All I was left with was these songs. And I really had pushed sort of singing. Just something had happened in singing. We'd lost a couple of artists that I'd really admired and looked up to over the years, and I lost two of them in the space of a couple of months. And I was just, something inside me just said, you've got to do this, dude. You need to keep writing your songs and you need to sing. A good buddy of mine, he had a beach shack. It was not really a shack. It was kind of cool little joint. And he said, you man, we'll stay there. And we just sat there. I brought the guitar and I wrote some ditties. And yeah, that was the start of it, really. Writing tunes. And I was like, what do you reckon of that? And he's like, yeah, that's cool. Like, the title track here is The Sun. You know, that was the songwriting and the music coming back into my life after those years of stopping. That's what it's about, essentially. So I said, well, cool, then I think it's time to I need to record this stuff. And so there were a couple of options with people that I wanted to record with. And, you know, the universe sort of I think it works in a pretty amazing way. And I ended up coming across Matt Robbins from COLOURSOUND Studios.
Mike rings me up one day, and we'd met a few times in the past, and he had songs that he was looking to record, and I know he'd been sort of jumping around from engineer to engineer trying to work out who's the right guy for him. I guess eventually he hears about me and what I do.
And I remember waking up one morning and I just got onto like my phone and this picture came up at COLOURSOUND. I've gone, it's a sign, I've got to call him. So I actually called him that night and he's like, yeah, cool, man, come down, show me your songs. And so I showed him these rough, you know, demos that I'd done. And the main thing for me was that he connected with it, and whoever was going to be working on it connected with it. And that's that synergy that you sort of need to have, I think, with your producer. It's really important.
And I just thought they were great songs. I didn't even think they needed that much. They just needed a bit of tweaking here and there. And I think, you know, the power is in the melodies, and we sort of just put them back together and booked some time and came into the studio and just made it happen, really. We just did it, and we hit it off, of course. I think that's really important when you're working closely one-on-one with an artist.
What do you think, Dave?
Say anything. I'd say
fresh parts. See, fresh parts.
You got to get who they are as a person and understand what they're trying to achieve, you know. And but you know, the power's in the songs, and you know, and the recordings. The recordings will show that. I think they've really brushed up as well. I think when people hear these songs, they're going to be pretty blown away. I just can't say enough about Mike and his abilities. He's a great drummer. He's a great singer. Pretty shit guitar player. but we helped him out a little bit there. He's all around really good, but most importantly, he's a really good songwriter. So that's what it comes down to, is he's got to have the songs, and I think he's got the songs.
What was kind of like an idea, as I say, it came to fruition. I just said, hey man, do you mind if I sleep at your studio? He's like, nice. He was nice enough to say, yeah, sure. Yeah, but I said, I actually want to sleep in the studio on the floor where my drums are. He's like, really? Okay, you can sleep on the bed. And I'm like, nah, I want to sleep in there. Because I just wanted to embody the whole experience and feel the whole thing. And so I did for those couple of weeks. And it was a really awesome experience. Like, we're in our world here. And, he pulled out some really amazing things. Overall, I'm just really grateful that I was lucky and the universe provided me a producer who, A, believed in my stuff, B, I got along with, and C, got it sounding the way it needed to sound. And then that will come across, because it was all real and it was all there. It just needed to be put out there and put into Pro Tools and used in this beautiful desk, and, use some cool vintage mics and amazing guitars and just make it real.